Aquarius, before we go any further, let me ask you something. Have you noticed the quieter you become, the louder the world starts reacting to you? You didn't make an announcement. You didn't explain yourself. You simply pulled your energy back, and suddenly, people are watching, talking, wondering what you're about to do next. This isn't about attention. It's about a decision you're standing on right now, one that will quietly change everything by the end of January 2026. If this moment feels familiar, if your chest tightened just a little, leave a comment and claim this message. Just type, "I'm ready." Because what you're stepping into next isn't small, and it starts the moment you stop holding yourself back. Aquarius, I want you to stay right here with me for a moment, not to analyze, not to prepare a response. Just to feel what's already been moving inside you. Because when your name starts floating through rooms you're no longer in, it's usually not gossip. It's gravity shifting. You didn't step back because you stopped caring. You stepped back because something in you needed air, space, silence that wasn't empty but honest. And in that quiet, something subtle happened. People began to sense the absence of your energy before they understood why. Your presence used to stabilize things, smooth tension, hold systems together. When that presence softened, the imbalance became visible. Have you noticed how often this happens to you, Aquarius? The moment you stop carrying what was never meant to be yours alone, the structure around you starts to wobble. That's not coincidence, that's pattern. You were never designed to disappear quietly into roles that only took from you. You were designed to recalibrate environments simply by being authentic. And when you pull back, it forces truth to surface. There's a strange loneliness that comes with this awareness. Not the kind where you feel abandoned, but the kind where you realize how many people depended on your strength without ever naming it. You might feel it late at night. That pause between thoughts where you wonder how you became the steady one, while quietly feeling unseen. That wondering isn't weakness, it's the beginning of clarity. Here's something few people tell Aquarius, especially later in life. When you outgrow a role, the world doesn't applaud right away. It resists, it questions, it talks. Because growth disrupts familiarity. And right now, you're standing in that uncomfortable space where your inner truth is louder than your outer obligations. You may feel like you're not doing much, but energetically, you're doing everything. You're redefining your position without making a speech. You're choosing not to explain what can only be understood through distance. You're allowing others to feel the weight of your absence instead of the comfort of your accommodation. Let me ask you something, gently. When was the last time you chose yourself without justifying it? That question might land quietly, or it might hit deeper than expected. Either way, it matters, because this moment isn't asking you to burn bridges. It's asking you to notice which ones were only standing because you kept holding them up. There's more unfolding beneath the surface than you can see right now. Conversations you're not in, realizations happening without your involvement, adjustments being considered because your energy is no longer freely available. And that's not something to fear. It's a sign that a different chapter is preparing itself. One where you don't have to shrink your vision to maintain peace. One where stability doesn't require self-abandonment. Stay with me. What's coming next isn't about loss. It's about understanding why stepping back was the most powerful move you've made in years. Stay with that feeling a little longer, Aquarius. Not to sink deeper into sadness, but to recognize what has truly been happening inside you all this time. There is a kind of exhaustion that does not make a person collapse. It is not loud, no tears, no crisis. It simply makes you wake up each morning with a little less energy than the day before. And you tell yourself, "I'm fine, I can still handle this." You became the one others lean on, not because anyone forced you to, but because you see the bigger picture more clearly than most. You understand consequences. You sense risks before they arrive. And so, you step in. You keep things balanced. Sometimes you do this beautifully, with grace, with humanity, with pure Aquarian heart. But there are moments when you have stayed silent for too long, not because you had nothing to say, but because you knew that if you spoke, everything would change, and you were not sure the world around you was ready for that change. So you chose to hold on a little longer. One more time, one more role, one more responsibility. Until your body kept moving forward, but your soul paused somewhere behind you. This happens often to mature Aquarians. those who learned to be strong early in life, those who understood that unprocessed emotions can become a burden to others. And so, you carried them alone. You do not complain. You do not blame. You still show up. You still fulfill your responsibilities. But deep inside, a quiet question repeats itself. When will it be my turn to rest? Maybe no one noticed the shift, because you never broke down. You simply slowed down, spoke less, reacted less, explained less. Ooh, and the world called the normal, but you feel clearly the moment you began to run low, not low on faith, but low on the energy to keep giving without being refilled. There is a truth that is very soft, yet very real. When an Aquarius burns out in silence, it is not because they are weak. It is because they went too long without allowing themselves to be human before being the one who carries everything. You do not need to prove anything anymore. You already have, through resilience, through loyalty, through the ability to stand steady when others needed support. The question now is not whether you can continue, it is whether you still want to continue in the same way. Ask yourself, very gently, if today you were not the most understanding person in the room, what would actually happen? Hold that question quietly. Do not rush the answer, because the moment you begin listening to your own exhaustion, you are opening another door, a place where strength no longer comes from endurance, but from choosing to live in rhythm with your own breath. And that is only the very first light. Stay with that quiet awareness for a moment, Aquarius, not the exhaustion itself, but what it gently unlocked inside you. There comes a morning that doesn't announce itself. No thunder, no breakdown, just light slipping through the window the same way it always has, and yet something inside you doesn't rise the way it used to. You're brushing your teeth, making coffee, standing still for a second longer than usual, and a thought arrives, clear, unemotional, almost calm. I can't keep living like this for another year. Not dramatic, not desperate, just honest. That's how this moment works for you. It doesn't shout, it doesn't rush, it lands. Aquarius energy doesn't change direction in chaos. It changes when the mind becomes too awake to pretend anymore. You didn't get here because someone hurt you yesterday. You got here because your future self quietly stepped closer and said, "This version of life ends here." And what's striking is how little anger there is. No blame, no need to convince anyone. Just a clean realization that waiting has run its course. Waiting for timing, waiting for recognition, waiting for circumstances to finally meet you halfway. You see it now. The waiting was never about patience. It was about postponing your own authority. This is the subtle power shift most people miss. The moment you stop asking the room to change its temperature and simply move to where you can breathe. It feels strange, doesn't it? Because nothing on the outside has moved yet. No announcement, no action taken. But inside, the axis has turned. You're no longer orienting your life around what others might do. Well, you're orienting it around what you can no longer accept. That clarity can feel cold at first, because it's not fueled by hope, it's fueled by truth, and truth doesn't beg. For someone like you, this is the most dangerous kind of awakening, not because it's reckless, but because it's quiet and irreversible. Once an Aquarius sees the pattern clearly, they don't argue with it, they redesign around it. You might notice yourself pulling back in small ways, not to punish anyone, not to test reactions, just conserving energy, just watching, just choosing silence where you once over-explained. This is not withdrawal, this is recalibration. Here's a question worth sitting with, softly. If no one changed at all from this point forward, would you still be willing to stay where you are? Let that answer come without forcing it. Because what's beginning now isn't about leaving immediately. It's about relocating your center of gravity. You are no longer standing in hope, you are standing in self-respect. And that shift sends a signal long before words do. The universe responds quickly to internal alignment, not with fireworks, but with pressure points, conversations that feel heavier, choices that feel unavoidable. You may not see the door yet, but you can feel the room tightening. That's how you know you've stopped waiting. And as you sit with this clarity, something else starts to stir beneath it. A deeper question. Not about what you're leaving, but about what kind of stability you're actually ready to build next. Hold that thought gently, because it's closer than you think. Stay right here with me, Aquarius, right in this quiet space you've stepped into. Because once that inner shift happens, fear doesn't rush in loudly. It arrives politely, almost reasonably. It shows up disguised as responsibility. You don't feel emotional about this choice. That's what confuses you. There's no heartbreak driving it, no dramatic fallout. Instead, your mind starts lining things up carefully. The numbers, the years, the systems you've built piece by piece. You think about the life you stabilized, the routines that finally stopped wobbling, the safety you earned through patience and discipline. And suddenly the question isn't, can I do this? It's what happens to everything I've already built if I do. This is where your fear lives, not in failure, in disruption. You're not afraid of starting over because you doubt yourself. You're afraid because you understand the cost of rebuilding. You know what it takes to create something solid from the ground up. That awareness doesn't make you weak, it makes you honest. At this stage of life, your decisions carry weight. They affect more than just you. Time feels more precious. Energy feels finite. So, when this choice stands in front of you, it doesn't feel romantic. It feels logistical. It feels heavy with consequence. You catch yourself asking questions that have nothing to do with desire. Will this destabilize my income? Will this undo years of effort? Will I regret not choosing the safer option? And beneath all of that, a quieter thought hums. What if this is too late? That's the one you don't say out loud. For someone like you, age isn't a number, it's a ledger. You remember every sacrifice that got you here, every compromise that kept things running. So, of course, this decision feels scary. It's not asking for bravery, it's asking for discernment. What most people don't realize is that Aquarius doesn't fear change. Aquarius fears misalignment that costs years to correct. You don't want chaos, you want coherence. And yet, something doesn't fit anymore. The life you built still stands, but it no longer feels like it's facing the right direction. That's the tension you're holding, not between staying and leaving, but between comfort and congruence. Let me ask you something gently. When you imagine yourself 5 years from now, what scares you more? Having taken this risk, or having talked yourself out of it? Sit with that answer. No judgment, no rush. Because fear at this stage isn't a warning sign. It's a signal that the decision matters. This isn't impulsive, it's consequential. And here's the part no one tells you. When fear shows up this clean and specific, it usually means you're standing at the edge of a recalibration, not a collapse. You're not being asked to burn everything down. You're being asked to choose what truly deserves to come with you. That distinction changes everything. The unknown ahead doesn't feel empty. It feels uncharted, and that's a different kind of discomfort, one that only shows up when you're capable of more than you're currently allowing yourself to live. You don't need to decide tonight, but you do need to listen, because the longer you ignore this clarity, the heavier it becomes. And soon, something will force the question anyway. We'll talk about that moment next, the one where the decision stops being theoretical and starts moving through the world with you. I'm still here with you, Aquarius, right where the air feels a little thinner, right where the knowing has stopped being abstract. There's a moment when the decision stops living in your head and quietly enters your body. You feel it first as a steadiness, not relief, not excitement, just a strange calm. Your shoulders drop, your breathing slows, and something inside you says, "This is the day." It doesn't look dramatic from the outside. You don't rehearse speeches, you don't make a scene. Maybe it's a message you type and reread once. Maybe it's a sentence spoken without explanation. Maybe it's the choice to not show up where you've always been expected. What's powerful is how ordinary it feels. That's how you know it's real. This isn't rebellion, it's alignment finally catching up with action. The moment you step back, the room shifts. You don't announce your exit, but the space feels it. Energy always knows before people do. There's a pause after, a quiet beat where nothing happens. And then, you notice it. The way eyes turn toward you. The way conversations suddenly include your name again. The way urgency appears where indifference once lived. Not because you demanded anything, but because your availability changed. This is something only a few people ever learn. When you stop accommodating what drains you, the world recalculates your value. Those who were comfortable with your endurance feel unsettled now. They didn't think you would actually choose yourself. Not this cleanly, not without resentment. You may feel a flicker of guilt, that old reflex, the one that asks if you were too much or too sudden. Let it pass. You didn't abandon anyone. You simply stopped abandoning yourself. What surprises you most is how quickly the offers come, the adjustments, the the promises, things you once asked for gently, patiently, over time, they appear now, almost urgently. It can feel disorienting, like the universe suddenly speaking a language you gave up on hearing. Here's where your wisdom matters. This isn't about whether they can change now. It's about whether this place can hold who you've become. That's the real decision underneath the decision. Pause here with me for a breath. Ask yourself softly, if everything I needed suddenly became available, would I still want to stay? Your answer doesn't need to be spoken. Your body already knows it. You're not cold for questioning it. You're clear. This moment isn't about winning or losing. It's about sovereignty. You didn't walk away to be chased. You walked away to breathe, and that distinction protects you from being pulled back into old patterns dressed up as new offers. There's a quiet dignity in how you're moving now. Less explanation, more presence. You're not trying to prove anything. You're listening for what feels honest in your chest. That's the Aquarius way when it's mature, detached from drama, deeply loyal to truth. Something is being reset here, not just externally, but in how you relate to your own power. You're learning that you don't need permission to choose differently. You never did. As this energy settles, another realization begins to form, a subtler one. That staying would have cost you more than leaving ever could. And once you see that, again, the story ahead starts to open in a very different way. Stay with me. Because what comes next isn't about who wants you back. It's about what kind of life is finally ready to meet you where you are. I know. Once you step back, something unexpected happens. Not immediately, not with noise. At first there is a strange stillness, like the air is holding its breath. You move through your day feeling lighter and heavier at the same time. Lighter because you told the truth. Heavier because you can feel the ripples moving outward. Then the messages start to shift. People who once took their time now sound rushed. Voices soften. Language becomes careful. You notice it without satisfaction, without anger, just awareness. It can feel surreal, almost disorienting, when those who dismissed your limits suddenly want to understand them, when solutions appear only after you stopped asking for them, when the space that felt so fixed begins to bend. This is not coincidence. This is physics. Your presence carried more weight than you realized. Your consistency created a gravity others leaned on. When that gravity lifts, the structure wobbles. They are not reacting to your words. They are reacting to your absence from the role you used to play. And this is where the emotional tension deepens, because a part of you wants to believe them, wants to trust the promises, wants to say, maybe now it can be different. That part of you is not naive. It is compassionate. You understand people change under pressure. You understand systems respond when leverage shifts. But another part of you is quieter and far more precise. It asks a different question. Not can this be fixed, but why it took your leaving to be seen. That question matters. When you look at it honestly, you may feel a faint ache, not resentment, grief. A grief for the version of you who tried to fix things gently, who explained patiently, who adjusted endlessly. You are not judging them now. You are recognizing a pattern. Change offered in urgency feels different than change chosen in respect. And you feel the difference in your body. You notice how your chest tightens when old dynamics try to re-enter through new words. You notice how calm you feel when you imagine not negotiating your worth anymore. That contrast is everything. Let me ask you something softly. If you stay now, will you be staying because it aligns with who you are becoming, or because it finally feels safer to be valued? There is no wrong answer, only an honest one. What is powerful about this moment is not their reaction. It is your clarity. You are not rushing to decide. You are watching how it feels to stand still without apologizing. This is maturity, not detachment, discernment. For someone like you, this is a sacred threshold. You are learning that being indispensable is not the same as being respected. That loyalty without reciprocity becomes self-erasure. And you are done erasing yourself. The universe often tests resolve by offering a familiar door with a fresh coat of paint, not as punishment, but as confirmation, to see if you can tell the difference between growth and repetition. You are not cold for hesitating. You are wise. The value you carry was always there. It just became visible when you stopped pouring it into a container that could not hold it. As this realization settles, something steadier begins to replace the drama, a sense of groundedness, of choice. Not driven by reaction, not swayed by promises, but guided by the quiet knowing that your life must be built around truth, not tolerance. Stay here with that feeling, because what comes next is not about fixing the past. It is about redefining what winning actually looks like for you now. Stay close with me, Aquarius. Notice how the noise has softened. After the urgency, after the negotiations, something steadier settles in. Not excitement, not triumph. Peace. It may surprise you how quiet this part feels. No fireworks, no victory lap. Just a deep exhale you didn't realize you'd been holding for years. You begin to see it clearly now. This was never about losing something. It was about outgrowing the frame you were asked to live inside. Whether you remain where you are or step into a new direction, the shift has already happened. The ground beneath you feels firmer. Your thoughts feel less tangled. You are no longer negotiating with yourself. That's the upgrade. You notice how your mornings feel different, how decisions take less effort, how your body no longer braces itself before simple conversations. Yes, stability starts to mean something new, not predictability, but alignment. You realize that being valued doesn't always come from louder recognition. Sometimes it comes from quieter respect, from being met where you are, without having to shrink or stretch. This is the part of the journey most people misunderstand. They think winning looks like applause, like proof, like someone admitting they were wrong. But for you, winning looks like coherence. Your inner world and your outer life finally speaking the same language. You may still be surprised by moments of grief. That's natural. You invested years of care, intelligence, and loyalty into what you built. Honoring that doesn't mean going back. It means carrying the wisdom forward. You're not erasing the past. You're integrating it. This is what maturity feels like when it's real. Not hardened, not cynical, just clear. Let me ask you something gently. If no one ever acknowledged the shift you made, would you still feel lighter living this way? If the answer is yes, then you already understand what this moment is offering you. You are learning that your worth does not increase when others finally see it. It becomes undeniable when you stop placing it where it isn't recognized. And that changes how you move through everything. Relationships feel simpler. Boundaries feel less defensive. Your time feels sacred again. You're no longer chasing proof that you made the right choice. You're living inside the evidence. This upgrade doesn't announce itself to the world. It whispers to you in moments of ease, in decisions that no longer drain you, in the quiet confidence of knowing you can walk away from what doesn't fit. That's not loss, that's liberation. And it doesn't isolate you. It refines the connections that remain. People who meet you now will meet the truer version of you, not the overextended one, not the endlessly accommodating one, the one who knows their own rhythm. As this settles, you may notice a subtle excitement returning, not the reckless kind, the grounded kind. Curiosity about what life can look like when it's built from respect instead of endurance. This chapter isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about inhabiting your life fully, without apology. You didn't trade something away. You upgraded your standards. And once that happens, everything that comes next has a different quality to it. There's one more realization waiting just ahead. A message meant specifically for this moment you're standing in now. Stay with me. Because what you need to hear next may be the part that finally brings everything into focus. Stay here with me a little longer, Aquarius. This part is quieter than all the others. And because of that, it matters more. You might feel like the air has thickened lately, like time itself has slowed its pace around you. Plans that once felt ready are paused. Decisions you thought you would make by now are hovering. Nothing is wrong, yet nothing is rushing forward either. That can be unsettling for someone like you. You're used to seeing patterns before others do. Used to moving ahead internally long before the world catches up. So, when momentum softens, the mind looks for reasons. Did I wait too long? Did I miss the window? Did I hesitate when I should have acted? Listen closely. This isn't resistance, it's placement. There are seasons when movement creates progress, and there are seasons when stillness creates accuracy. You are in the second one now. What's happening beneath the surface is subtle. Your life is being aligned with a different kind of timing, not urgency-driven, not fear-paced, but exact. You are being positioned, not postponed. That distinction changes how everything feels. If you pay attention, you'll notice small confirmations. Conversations that clarify rather than confuse. Opportunities that dissolve before they can drain you. Moments of insight arriving when you stop forcing answers. This is the universe adjusting the angle, not closing the path. For Aquarius, clarity doesn't arrive through pressure. It arrives through perspective, through distance, through the ability to see the whole system, not just the next step. Right now, you are being given that vantage point. I know it can feel uncomfortable to trust a pause, especially when you've already done the hard part, especially when you're ready to move. But consider this gently. What if the delay isn't about readiness? What if it's about precision? Some doors only open when you're standing in the exact right place, not leaning forward, not looking back, but grounded. If you rush now, you'd bring old habits into a new chapter. If you waited too long, you'd doubt yourself. So, the stillness holds you right here, balanced. Let me ask you something softly. If nothing changed externally for a few more weeks, could you trust that something essential is still unfolding? You don't need to answer that with certainty, just curiosity. Because what you're learning now is how to move without forcing, how to trust your internal alignment more than external signals, how to let the next step reveal itself rather than be chased. This is advanced wisdom, the kind that usually comes only after years of trial and error. You are not behind, you are not blocked, you are not being tested. You are being placed where your next choice will actually matter. And when movement resumes, it will feel different, cleaner, less exhausting, more inevitable. Until then, let yourself breathe here. Let the quiet recalibrate you. You've already done the brave work. Now you're being asked to do the trusting work. And that may be the most powerful shift of all. Stay open, stay present, because when the moment comes, you won't need to run toward it. It will meet you exactly where you are. And before you drift away tonight, Aquarius, let this land gently. Everything you felt during this journey wasn't accidental. That quiet recognition in your chest, that soft, yes, your body whispered before your mind could explain it. That was alignment remembering itself. You didn't come here to be fixed. You came here to be reminded. Reminded that your sensitivity is not a weakness, that your pauses are not failures, that your distance from the noise is actually your power returning. Somewhere out there, other Aquarians are listening too. Different cities, different stories, but the same feeling of standing at a threshold they can't quite name yet. And tonight, this space holds all of you together. If something resonated, don't rush past it. Stay with it. Let it breathe inside you. And if a single sentence felt like it was meant only for you, leave a comment, not for me, for yourself, to mark the moment you chose to listen inward. Yes, if this channel feels like a place you can rest, a place where your inner world is respected, consider subscribing. This journey doesn't end here, it unfolds. Trust yourself more after this than you did before. That's the real invitation. Because the next message is already forming. The next layer of clarity is closer than you think, and you don't need to search for it. You're already on the path, still, aligned, and exactly where you're meant to be. Until we meet again, Aquarius, stay open. Stay kind to your own rhythm. And remember, the universe hasn't forgotten you. It's been walking with you the whole time.